Hi guys, back again. I'm going for it today. Going for it. So what it is, we're out for the whole afternoon. So I just thought I'm going to try and get all my lives early today. So I was going to read chapter 7 of this. How is everyone? So obviously we did the introduction of this book. And we did chapter 1. That's enough for now. Now, when I get that feeling again, I'll do chapter 2. But I'm not in a rush. I've done enough on this book for now. It's very interesting. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I know that I'm doing my lives very early, so because of it, a lot of you are asleep in America. Obviously, many of you in England and around the world. So many of you will wake up later and watch these live streams. Good morning. Now, Mum has let the kids go on the phone for an hour. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to sit. Yeah, man. So I thought, I'm not just going to sit for an hour and be ignored. So I thought, I'm going to do another live. Yeah. Gio's got football today at 11 as well. Chino. See the way he's putting me right? Chino has got football today. So, as usual, the notifications are terrible. So I will just very quickly say to everyone that we're live, let's get a few more to join us. So do any of you have any opinions on the Lucy Desiree thing? Right, I'm going to try and send this live as quick as possible. I just don't understand why no one gets notifications. It drives me mad. Literally drives me mad. I'm like, why? So, so 1st of December for me, I think is quite special. 1st of December. It's the beginning of Christmas. All the main decorations go up. And the kids get excited. They get their calendars thingy. You know, the advent calendars. They get their, what do you call that thing again? Their elves. Are they called elves, Tino? Yeah, they get their elves, 2 each. Now they can start opening a chocolate every day. I just think 1st of December, you do get a feeling for Christmas. I really do. And we did a live last night. I don't know if any of you saw it. We did a dog live. And already you're walking around and you're seeing all the Christmas lights on all the houses. Some of them very, very impressive. And England is a great place for Christmas. I highly recommend England. And all of the main towns do a massive spread with their lighting. The main high streets where everyone goes shopping, all the shopping malls start to decorate everything. It's just, I think, a special time. Hi, Elizabeth. I did message you, Elizabeth, this morning, saying that we were going live. Did you get the messages, Elizabeth? Because I know you're annoyed that you missed them. So Gio says he believes that she did have a secret affair. So Gio, are you asking me what I think of the book, Gio? One thing I do think is that it's going to be an interesting read. I do think that. Now, do I believe it? Not at the moment, but I'm open for learning as much as I can. No, Lou, I'm just saying what I think. Yeah, so you believe she did have a secret affair. Yeah, I think it's very possible, Gio. Definitely. All right, Elizabeth, you did get it. One of them. I got up really early. I could not sleep. For no reason. For no reason, my body said, you're not going to sleep after 5 a.m. So I thought to myself, I could just lie here at 5 in the morning and answer messages, etc. But I thought, you know what, I'd rather get up and do a live. I had it in my head. I was determined to read chapter 1 of Are You Lonesome Tonight? I wanted to, if anything, we've only just started, Darlene, but we have done 2 other lives this morning. We've been up very early. And Darlene, just so you know, we did the introduction to this book on the first live. On the second live, we did chapter 1 of this book, and we played a few video clips as well. So just getting information out there. Now the wife's going shopping today. We've got a friend coming. So what's her name that's coming? Sienna's coming.
I'm excited. She's gonna do our Christmas tree.
The wife has got it in her head. She wants to do a bit of a Christmassy type meal today, like pork and what do you call it again? She wants to do a slow cook. Yes, of course I can. Right. Say good morning to Team Elvis.
No.
Right, I need to go get him a blackcurrant. Ooh. Right, let me just get him a blackcurrant. Yeah, Gio just said hi. Now remember, yes.
But then, I have chocolate
Let me
cookies.
do one like
Gavin, I am chocolate cookies. Wait, what?
that. Right, this blackcurrant is a Tino. This, actually, no, this won't be alright.
Daddy, I remember there was like a chocolate cookie for me.
I don't know where. I don't know where they are.
I think
Here's a bit of blackcurrant, mate, but it is a bit. Does taste a bit different.
Where's Mummy?
She's upstairs. She's going shopping. Right, I'm going to start reading. I don't know. Remember, I'm doing a live thing. That's what. Oh, that's all that's left, though, Tino.
Can you look back there?
Well, it's Tino. This one tastes different. It's a different one. It's not the same one. We bought the wrong one.
Can you look back there?
Back where?
If there's cookies.
No, there's definitely nothing there. No, there's no cookies there.
There is.
Also, you've had enough of that kind of stuff. All right. Right, I'm going to start reading, dudes. Okay, so I'm just still messaging people. So it sounds like he didn't tell the truth to both of them. Definitely Anita. This means that she was with Anita near this. Right, am I missing something? Let's have a look. I believe she did have a secret affair, right? That means that she was with Anita near the same time. It sounds like he didn't tell the truth to both of them. Only so, Elizabeth, do you think that it's possible that Elvis was seeing Lucy? Yeah, do you think it's possible? Right, let's message a few more people.
Can I have your book?
If there's any there.
And a tea string.
Go on then, dude. No arguing. Remember, I'm on. No, I'm gonna let her have some.
No, Dad.
Yeah.
She didn't ask Mum.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Be okay. Right, let's have a look. All right, you tell Mummy. The kids will be kids. Right, I'm just trying to message more people. Yeah. It's 1st of December. They're like, woohoo! But they're going out soon. I'm in no rush, guys. I'm just taking my time. I'm no rush. I'm pretty chilled this morning. I'd rather message a few more people, let them know we're live, than just sit here with 2 people. Because if I don't let you guys know we're live, what tends to happen is I'll get a lot of messages later, people disappointed that they've missed it. So I try and do it.
Mum said you're not allowed, Daddy.
All right, okay. That's fine, but I'm live now.
Because Mum said you don't have to have breakfast.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry.
No, she's not allowed.
All right, she's not allowed. Yeah, she's not allowed. You're right, Tino. Right, I'm just letting everyone know that we're live. Angel, are you on? Let's have a look. Is Angel on? Yeah, I know he's cute. Look, guys, the small kids, they transform the house. As soon as they get older,
I'm on 1.
Yeah, you're Tina.
Whoa.
Tina.
No.
Don't rip it. Don't. No. We're going to be gentle, and we're going to be quiet as well. Right.
But you didn't read it.
Do you want to? I'll tell you what you can do. You can use this. Do you want to do it? Do you know how to do it?
But I know. But is the phone working?
I don't think so. Bring it here. I'll have a look. Okay. Right. Right. Jane, have you messaged Angel?
I'm only watching something.
All right. Okay. If you
And
just.
it's working.
All right. Okay. I'm going to start reading now, so you're going to be quiet. Well done. Do as you're told. Hi, Karen. Yeah, it's good. If you friend request each other, that does make my job easier getting you guys. Right, chapter 7. Right, Tino, you did say you're going to be quiet. Right. Despite Elvis' imminent deployment, the Presleys were determined not to let that spoil the holiday. So, guys, we've had a really good read with this book. So it's pretty obvious they were definitely in love. I do think Elvis had a bit of a double life. I think Anita Wood was a lot more innocent, even naive, I would say. She's obviously a beautiful, talented woman, a very successful woman in her own right. So I've been disappointed because I thought he was honest with Anita. He told how much he loved her, and I listened that call that he swore that she was the only one. This is the 10th live this morning. Get out. We got Gio. We're doing another 3 more, my friend. I opened the first door. My Elvis. Yeah, go on then. I opened the first door of my Elvis advent calendar today. I got it from the man in my life. He made me a homemade one. Wow, Diane, a homemade advent calendar from your man. And I remember when you first met. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Sounds lovely. Elizabeth was a hopeless romantic. Now, to Elizabeth, to your comment, I understand that you're disappointed, yeah, and you know it's very clear when you're reading these books that Elvis, I think, and I say this with respect, he had a wandering eye. He didn't just like one girl, yeah. He had a weakness for beautiful women, and as much as he loved them, remember he is a human being. Even though he had a Christian upbringing, and he wanted to be 100% decent, he was a human being. He made mistakes. He had, you know, like the rest of us, he would fancy a girl, and he wasn't ready to be with one person. The thing I think really stands out with Elvis, that once he became very famous, you know, really after 1956, then we've got June Junico, we've got Anita Wood, and others. Obviously, even when he meets Priscilla, he's got other girlfriends in Germany. Then when he comes back to America in 1960 after the army, he's got several girlfriends. So when you say you're disappointed, I completely understand how you feel, but we can't put Elvis on this pedestal that he's a perfect man or a perfect angel or never made mistakes, didn't do things that were wrong. The reality is we love it. Like you just said, Elizabeth, we love Elvis. Yeah. We admire him. We know Elvis was a very decent, good, kind, loving, caring, charismatic, charming, generous human being. But he also had lots of girlfriends. Craved female attention, craved female company. He wore his heart on his sleeve, fell in love very easily. I would even say that he got bored. I would even say that he got bored of girls and he would want to move on. So I do think with Elvis, it is a bit warts and all. It is a bit warts and all. We have to see all sides of Elvis. Now, do I think Elvis was starting to calm down before he died? Yeah, I do. I really believe that Elvis in his 40s would have been a very different man if he had lived through his 40s. I think he would have changed. I really do. So I knew that he was with a lot of women, and don't forget, he didn't sleep with all of these women. He would read books with them. He would just love their company. They were really good friends. He just classed them as really good friends. So it wasn't always about sex with Elvis. I really believe that. It was not always about sex. I never thought he was perfect. This was just different, it seems like. Well, I actually don't think it's different. And I'll tell you what I mean, Elizabeth. There's a pattern here. You could read this book. You could read this book, which I know some of you don't like. You could also read, where is it? Ah, here we go. We could also read this book, yeah? And, as Geo says, you could read this book. They all have a very similar timeline. They're sort of, when I say timeline, I mean a line that runs through all of them. Elvis was lovely. He was kind, giving and generous and romantic, but there was always lots of women on the scene. In all of these books, you will get a feel that Elvis had lots of women, female friends, whether they were lovers or not, whether they were just friends, some of them were. It's very clear that is Elvis, and we have to accept warts and all, the good and the bad. But I will say this, Elvis was always a very kind, good-hearted man. He would never be cruel to any of these women, ever. And that, again, is also something that is repeated again and again. He was, in his heart, he was a soft soul. I really believe that. Right, let's have a look. Just read a few more comments. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to read this chapter. I've changed my mind. I've got another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to read some comments to you. But first of all, I'm going to read your comments. Let's have a look. I never thought he was perfect. So we've read that. Okay. Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings never changed till later in their lives as well. Josie, I was watching the channel, Elvis Story Channel, them discussing the home video of Elvis and Mike Stone is selling. Okay, so what's this channel called? Elvis Story Channel. Let's have a look. Is this on YouTube, Josie? Let me just find it a minute. Elvis Story Channel. Elvis Story Channel. Let's have a look. Is it called Elvis Story? I can't see it on here. Elvis Story Channel. Has it come up? But let me know what it's called, Josie. I'll look it up. Right, so we've got is there anyone here who doesn't believe it? This is, I think there's a Elizabeth, I think a lot of people do not believe this book. This book upsets a lot of people. I get a lot of messages, people telling me off for reading this book. Yeah, so it's quite a touchy subject, that book. Don't forget, people are a bit fed up. People are a bit, there's so many people out there that are saying that Elvis has secret children. People are fed up with it because there's plenty of people that are doing it that are lying. So I get it. It irritates people. I completely understand that. Thing is, everyone wanted to be with Elvis. All the girls loved him, and it was hard to say no when it was easy for him. Karen, that's a great comment. And what morning, Karen? We have to remember that when we were reading, where is it? We were reading the book that Linda sent me. This book, yeah. I do get confused who sends me what. I get confused, but Now, this book in chapter 2 quite clearly describes that Elvis was a spotty teenager that didn't get much attention, that was bullied on, picked on because he dressed differently, he did his hair different, he had sideburns. And to some people, he was odd looking because the main hairstyle in the 50s, early 50s, was a crew cut. Yeah. So my point is, so Elvis was sort of unconfident, shy. Yeah. Well, suddenly everything changes. Everything changes. He starts to be known that he can sing. He has his guitar. And he starts to become a bit more popular. You've got people like Red West become his friend. So suddenly you see this boy overnight, really, is very popular with the girls. He's doing these little shows. The girls are literally throwing themselves at him. He's still a young teen years, his late teen years, early 20s. These girls are falling at his feet. It's like being in a candy store. Suddenly you can have all these sweets. Yeah. So Elvis at first obviously couldn't believe it and then really made the most of it. Yeah. Now I would say this, most men that are teenagers, 19 years old, suddenly they're popular with the girls, would have really made the most of it, really just loved it, lapped it up. And this goes into your 20s. A man in his 20s who is not married, who's not engaged, no commitments, who also is becoming a worldwide sensation, a movie star and a singer, and obviously the way he looked. And Elvis really did lap it up, in my opinion. So it doesn't make him a bad person. He had the normal temptations of fame. He had them falling at his feet. So I don't judge him on that, because I actually think almost all men put in that position would have probably done what Elvis did. Yeah. It's like being in a candy store. They're eating all the sweets. I get it. Now, do I think Elvis, as he got older, started to move away from that lifestyle and was more interested in his religious beliefs, his Christian beliefs, being a good person? Yeah, I do. I think as he got older, things changed. I also think probably Elvis had a bit of a dilemma because his mum, Gladys, brought him up and Vernon to be very decent, to do the right thing with his Christian upbringing in the churches and that. Elvis loved going to church. I also think there was a dilemma there because I think Elvis, if he hadn't have become famous, I've always thought this, if Elvis had not become famous, he would, for a start, he would still be alive probably. And also, he wouldn't have lived a life of seeing many women. I think Elvis probably, if he had not become famous and not become a singer, I think he would have settled young, would have had a big family, would have had a lovely wife, lovely home, a brilliant career. I just think Elvis was going to be a brilliant family man with grandkids, great grandkids, but it wasn't meant to be because the fame, the looks, the fame, the talent, let me just let the dog out, the talent, put a stop to all that. Yeah. And I do feel that sometimes we expect too much of Elvis. We put him on a pedestal. We expect too much. So when we hear some negative things, and there's some quite negative things that we're going to hear, aren't there? Unfaithfulness, bad-tempered. He had a weakness for guns, a weakness for prescribed medication, and just there's many little stories that you will read that may disappoint fans, Elvis fans. But I would say that the good stuff massively outweighs all the stories. There are thousands of brilliant, amazing, fantastic, beautiful stories about Elvis and the way he lived, how kind and generous he was, how caring and loving and sharing Elvis was. So it's that side of Elvis, this amazing person. Yeah, go and get one then. I just say that the kindness of Elvis the beautiful man that he was in his heart, this good-hearted, decent man that loved everyone and everything, and always put himself last, massively overshadows the negative bits. I really think that. Really think that. And the more I find out about Elvis, the more I fall in love with him. Thing is, everyone wanted to be with Elvis, all the girls, yeah. Elvis was a human male, easily tempted, yeah. The devil on the one shoulder and God on the other. I understand that, Darlene. I do. Elvis, that's why we read the books, to separate the truth from the lies. Definitely, Gio. Elvis was just a human being. He made mistakes like all of us. He had a heart of gold, yeah. 100% Elvis, in my mind, had a heart of gold. Some are going to be true, some are going to be lies. There is no middle. That's Jane. Some things are definitely true, but I always feel like a lot of his weaknesses are so exaggerated that it weakens them. Yeah. It's not that I mind the fact that he did that. I got off rare Elvis photo fans for this. I know he did. I don't hold him on a pedestal. I know he was with a lot of women. But let's not have too high expectations of Elvis. Yeah, let's not do that as well. I just heard so many stories about so many people who say they are related to Elvis, from sons and daughters and brothers and sisters. I've seen like 3 today on YouTube. Yeah. Now remember, I'm not saying, I make this very clear. I am not for a second have I said that I believe this. Not for a second. Yeah. This is just a book that we're sharing information. You guys make your own mind up. You guys make your own mind up. I don't want to influence people's decision. Right. Gio, Karen, as a musician, I know it's very good for a man's ego when that happens, and it's hard to resist. As an ex-DJ, I completely understand what Gio is saying. Everyone wanted to be Elvis, and all the girls loved him, and it was hard to say no. It was easy for yeah. I agree with that. Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings never changed till later in their lives. Yeah, you get older. Even with me, with DJing, I DJed for a long time, 26 years. It wasn't really until I got to my 30s that I started thinking, do you know what? This is boring now. I'm bored of the DJ lifestyle. So then, quite early in my 30s, I knew I wanted to settle. I wanted to have kids quite early. So I was in a dilemma there. I sort of wanted to give up DJing, but I also hadn't met anyone yet. So I was all in a waiting game. We're always waiting. I felt, before I met my wife, I always felt like I was waiting to meet her. Do any of you get that feeling? I always felt like, oh, I wonder when it's going to happen. Yeah, which it did. Thank God. Me and my wife, we have a beautiful relationship, even though, like all couples, we have ups and downs, pretty normal stuff. There is a real deep love. Don't forget, we've been together nearly 20 years, and we are still deeply in love, even though we have our disagreements. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So I do feel very lucky. And I'm lucky. My wife's a beautiful lady. I opened the door of my Elvis ad. All right, okay, we've read that. Right, let's catch up with the comments, guys. So I'm going to read a comment someone sent me, a very long comment. It's interesting. Some things are definitely true. I always feel like a lot of his weaknesses are so exaggerated. Right, let's have a look. You can't hurry love. Well, I was 36 when I met my wife, 36, and we had 5 kids. Now that's starting late in life, isn't it? But thanks. Yes, Linda. To me, it had nothing to do with rushing. It was, I just met the wrong girls. Yeah. So I would meet a girl, you build up your hopes, and then it would all go wrong. Yeah. And if anything, I was let down. by quite a few of my ex-girlfriends. Then my wife comes along, and everything just fell into place. She didn't let me down. It all worked out, and she, my wife really wanted to get married. Yeah, so of course I obliged, and so me and my wife, I know you're going to laugh at this, guys. Me and my wife, by the time we got married, we'd already had 3 kids. So we had 3 kids, then got married. So my wife very much wanted to get married. Because I was older, I wasn't. We were engaged, obviously. I knew I was going to be with my wife for the rest of my life, as much as I can. And then I just got swept along, and we got married, and we did what you do, yeah. But to me, I felt married to my wife within 3 months of meeting her, regardless of a piece of paper. But my wife wanted the big wedding, which we had, and it was beautiful. It was probably the happiest day of my life, was marrying my wife, yeah. And now we didn't know we were going to have 2 more kids. We didn't know. That was unexpected, but we worship them. We love them. Like Tino and Yasmin are a beautiful gift. A beautiful gift. Right. Let me have a look. At least you found someone that didn't let you down in the end. Yes, Linda. In the end, I was very, very, very lucky. I literally can't believe it that things went so well for me. I touch wood. I feel blessed. I give thanks every day. I really appreciate. And when I would go through tough times, I had this spiritual guru that I would go to called Sadhguru. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. And because I had some pretty tough times through the years leading up to meeting my wife. And Sadhguru, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's on YouTube. He's amazing. Yeah. He's a spiritual advisor, but he's more than that. He really teaches you how to appreciate life and appreciate all the good things in your life. So he really taught me kindness, how to be decent, how to be loving, how to appreciate the day, the universe, the smell in the air, yeah, waking up and giving thanks for just being alive, yeah, really understanding that every tiny little detail in life was special, and being kind and forgiving and caring, always showing love, never being hateful, always forgiving. Sadhguru really did that for me, and he helped me through quite a tough few times in my life, and I think it's part of the reason that why I have no meanness in me. I have no nastiness in me. It's all, I can't even explain it. I always want to be kind, want to forgive, want to be loving, generous, and just heartfelt, come from a good place, be good-hearted. It's really in me, yeah? So I recommend Sadhguru, guys. He's fantastic. Anyway, let's have a look. I'm just going to get dressed. It's not nice to hear someone talk about love. It's so nice to talk about someone love, romantic in me, and always listens carefully. Do you know what? When you get it, Diana, and it sounds to me like you're going through it now, it is beautiful. Like a beautiful flute. Beautiful. But then it becomes quite normal, and then you have to go through the good and bad bits. But then I found as you get the good and bad, you become stronger, and the bond grows stronger. That's what I found with my wife. As you go through your ups and downs together with the kids, the bond becomes really tight and strong. I can't even explain it. You become invincible together. And I really believe that. So we grew up together and went on to have 5 kids. Linda, oh, brilliant. Louis being kind for me is major for every day and showing kindness. Yes, definitely. Which is why whenever we do defending Elvis Presley, I always keep repeating, we're not about hate. We're not about attacking people. We are going to defend Elvis, respectable. It's really important to me, really important. That's why I will always say, I don't hate certain people. I will always say, even with the problems we've had, for pure forgiveness, always, never bad feeling, always moving on with a big smile on my face and kind to everyone, no matter what. Let's have a look. Debbie, yes, I have 4 kids to him, but he's not a nice man. Unfortunately, I was young and fell for the wrong person. Ah, Linda, we send you love, Linda. You know we're here for you. Yeah, Angel Eyes, I know how nice, how loving and caring and kind you are. Angel Eyes, we know that. Helen, we all love you. Right, I'll read this comment. Right, okay. So someone called Andrew, who has messaged me a few times, he's sends me some very long, very interesting comments. He sent me one today. Let's have a look. Now, Andrew, it's quite a complex comment. Andrew is trying to understand. It's Andrew Morenin. Andrew is trying to understand Priscilla and Elvis. Let me just shut the door, man. I don't want it to get cold. So Andrew sent me a very long comment. I have read it. Right. I quickly read Karen's comment. I was lucky when my husband passed away at the age of 41, who was amazing. A few years later, I met another amazing, kind man with him for 16 years. Even though they both passed away, I was lucky. Ah, Karen. I send you love, Karen. I send you love. Diana, don't worry. It took long enough. I got rid. Eventually, it only took 38 years. We're so happy for you. We're so happy for you. Guys, like we said the other day, you never know what the tide will bring. When you're going through a bad patch, a down patch, and when things aren't working out, there's always something around the corner heading for you. You don't know when. And like the Tom Hanks film says, you never know what the tide may bring. Right, let's have a look. Hi, Louis. It's coming on midnight for me, but I had to answer your apology question as I am the one that sent you 15 questions on Priscilla. So Andrew had messaged us on YouTube, a very long message. Now we did do a video response, yeah. We broke down all of his comments and we responded here on Team Elvis. This was a while ago, man. I think this was like 3 weeks ago. So he must have just seen it. So he's coming back to us.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Karen, you put let's have a look. I lost my husband when he was 44. My husband committed. Oh no, this is horrible, Elizabeth. That is so sad, Elizabeth. I really do send you love. But I also add, you never know what's around the corner. Good things are coming, Elizabeth. Good things are coming. We just have to be patient. We all send you love. Group hugs for Elizabeth. Right. Let's read this. I did not expect to have it answered on your site, but your team, so Team Elvis, and you personally did such a good job to most of the questions, especially the first. Did Elvis love both Priscilla and Anne Margaret? Right, so this is one of the questions that were asked. Oh, I know now. We read them out. Yes, he posted them to me, and we read them out. Right, I got it. I remember now. Andrew, in case you're watching, my friend, we're gonna. This is you sent me this morning. Did Elvis? Let's have a look. Did Elvis love both Priscilla and Anne Margaret? You guys can answer this as well. The only reason Elvis chose Priscilla is that he promised to marry her at the end, and he kept his promise, but Anne could not. Right. So there's one of the questions.
3, 2, 1.
And then it says, Anne Margaret could not have saved him, as she just recently said, I wish I was there to save him. As to an apology for Priscilla, it has already happened. She will not be able to do. Right, the words are a bit jumbled up. Right. As for an apology to Priscilla, it has already happened. So the apology to Priscilla, I'm guessing that he means Anne Margaret was seeing Elvis, obviously, whilst Elvis was married. So I'm guessing that that's what he means, that Anne Margaret has apologized to Priscilla. I don't know about this. Sorry, let me just, I'm trying to read this carefully. So it says, Priscilla will not be able to do this in public because she has what you call a personality disorder. In other words, a passive aggressive personality. Is that true, guys? I'll repeat that. So Andrew is saying that Priscilla has a personality disorder, which is a passive aggressive personality. Thus, she should not be blamed. So he's trying to sort of say she can't help the way she is. Yeah? Do you guys agree with that? Josie, okay, I got that comment. Josie is like, well, they weren't actually married. Now, we've brought Josie, we've brought this up before. When Priscilla moved to America at the end of 1962, yeah, 63, she knew Elvis was single and was seeing other girls. I think that is your point, yeah? They didn't get engaged until 1966. I do believe that when Priscilla moved to America, you know, from Germany, when she was nearly 18, I do believe that Elvis was single and she knew he was single, and that she moved to America with the hope that Elvis may settle down one day. And I don't think Elvis decided to settle down. Hi, Amy. I don't think Elvis decided to settle down until 1966. I think then he made a decision, I'm going to give it a go. We don't really know why. We don't know what pressures he was under. Pressures from Priscilla's parents, pressures from, can I say, from Vernon, from Colonel Tom Parker, and other pressures, and just his own moral compass of doing the right thing, because he had a Christian upbringing, because of the way that Gladys and Vernon brought him up. There's a possibility that all these pressures all together in the end forced Elvis to decide to get married with Priscilla. Yeah? So I completely understand when people say Elvis didn't have to be faithful between 1962, 3, 4, and 5, because Priscilla knew that he was single and she moved over to Graceland knowing the lifestyle that she was accepting by getting with a rock and roll star, getting with a movie star. Elvis 100% was not ready to settle down. 100%. And she knew it. Priscilla clearly knew this. Yeah? So let's just check your comments. Narcissism is a personality disorder stemming from a childhood trauma. I think the things that she has traits of, if not full full-blown narcissist. And it's the most common word used with Priscilla, isn't it? Prissy's rather threatened. All right, let me just read this clearly, Joe. Right, Joe. Priscilla rather threatened to sue Elvis and say that she was living with him from the age of 16. Yeah, I mean, I think she was. I don't think she was living with him till she was nearly 18. I don't think she moved to Graceland till she was 17. I'm pretty sure that they just had a brief friendship in Germany. And then Elvis didn't see her for 2 years. Yeah, so I have heard that the father, so Priscilla's parents, the father threatened this, what you've just mentioned about with Elvis, threatened Elvis about this, the fact that she may have only been 17 when she moved over, and might have been part of the reason that Elvis eventually gave in and decided to get married. Yeah, is that right? One thing I will say, yeah, that's okay, Josie. One thing I will say, I don't think Elvis wanted to get married. Of all the things, all the bits of information that have been gathered up, I'm no expert, I'm no researcher. I'm just Louis at home, yeah? I don't think Elvis wanted to get married. I think he regretted it almost straight away. But I also think this, once she got pregnant, Elvis was going to give it a go. Try and be a good father, try and be a good husband. Yes, he's still making his movies. And I do think it was all thrown in his face when she was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, a few months after Lisa Marie was born. So I do think Elvis gave it a try and then went back to his old ways after he'd caught Priscilla being unfaithful with Steve Peck, which you guys have heard me say 1,000 times. So let's keep reading this comment. So I have researched that 10% of us can have this problem. So he's saying, Andrew is saying that 10% of people have a personality disorder, passive aggressive personality. So he's saying that about Priscilla, okay? Yes, she did damage to Elvis, but she also ruined her life, as my research has found. So he feels that Priscilla ruined her life. Now that's a complicated thing to say because she obviously ran off with Mike Stone, humiliated Elvis. I personally think it's disgusting that she went off with Mike Stone. I think she couldn't have picked a worse person. Dragged Lisa Marie away from Elvis, and then Lisa Marie is living with a stranger. I think it's disgusting. But he says that she ruined her own life. I think she got a lot of happiness at first. Yeah, it might have been sort of infatuation, it might have been temporary, but I wouldn't say that she agreed that that part ruined her life. I personally think she was fine as she was. Her and Elvis should have worked out their differences and been good parents. She should have been a good parent for Lisa in Graceland, in their new homes. But she was determined to go after other men, Mike Stone. Eventually, there's other men. Eventually, we get to Michael Edwards, don't we? And eventually, Michael Garcia. I know there's other men as well. So I'm just reading this comment, yeah? So he says, yes, all right. His research has found that he feels that she ruined her own life. I mean, her life has been a mess, hasn't it? A mess, right? To say that I have some feelings for her now, where my questions originally were very aggressive, she was set up by her parents to do what she did. So he obviously believes the child bride version of events, that the whole thing was pre-planned, yeah? And Andrew thinks that. Many of you believe the child bride. There's an alternate version of what Priscilla planned with her parents. She was not sweet and innocent when Elvis met her. She was not a virgin. She's had many other boyfriends. Many of you believe that there was a plan to get Elvis, to get his money, to get to America, to move into Graceland, and to get their pound of flesh. And that the parents were involved, especially the father, yeah? Right. So then he says, she did love Elvis, verified by Mike Stone. I've seen that interview with Mike Stone. Now, I don't trust Mike Stone. Mike Stone is a pain in the ass. That book that he said that was going to be all about him and his life and karate ended up being even named after Priscilla and Lisa, which is a complete joke. And that interview that we saw on YouTube with Mike Stone, I think I've seen 2 very long, detailed interviews with Mike Stone. Mike Stone looks stupid. He spends all of the interview trying to make excuses for his behavior, when the truth is, when he ran off with Priscilla and took Elvis's daughter, Lisa, he was with Frances Stone, who was pregnant and had a small girl. So it's disgusting. 2 families were broke up. Frances Stone, Mike Stone, and their daughter and pregnant Frances. Elvis, Lisa, and Priscilla all smashed to smithereens, all so that Priscilla could have sex with Mike Stone and vice versa. Disgusting. Should never have happened. And Mike Stone has never apologized for it. He makes ridiculous excuses for his behavior and even tries to do the whole thing where it was meant to be like fate and some kind of bullshit about the universe. The universe wanted it to happen. It's just bollocks. He really does need to apologize. His behavior is disgusting. Mike Stone, when I watch his interviews, it really winds me up because he is so cold and he lies repeatedly. I'm not a fan of Mike Stone, guys. Let's have a look. So Mike Stone says that she did love Elvis. His new book, but Mike said he was the scapegoat to get the divorce from Elvis, and she, with her disorder, had a real passion for supply of sex. So I agree that Priscilla saw an opportunity with Mike Stone. I think she fancied him as well. She was infatuated with him as well. But Priscilla, he was her way out. Mike Stone was her way out. I agree with that. It was all premeditated. She wanted a powerful man that could stand up to Elvis. She wanted to humiliate Elvis to the maximum. I really believe that, which she did, because it was in all the papers and tabloids around the world, on the TV clips, all the magazines. It was everywhere. This public humiliation of Elvis with Priscilla out and about, with Mike Stone and Lisa Marie, even kissing in public. It's disgusting. You can imagine how Elvis felt. It must have been horrible. Every day must have been a nightmare for Elvis. This is in 1971. Don't forget, he found out at some point in 71 the divorce. She demanded a divorce around 72. I'm not really sure. It could have even been the end of 71. Karen thinks there was a plan. There definitely could have been. Let's keep going. So Mike said that he was scapegoat to get a divorce from Elvis, as she and her, with her disorder, had a real passion for sex. I believe that as well. I think Priscilla was gagging. I really think Priscilla really fancied men, loved the attention that she got. She was a beautiful woman. She had a sexy body, she was stunningly beautiful, had a personality that could draw people in, and she made the most of it. And she used how she looked, how she was, and the fact that she was Elvis's ex-wife to get her man, to snare her man. And I think she loved money, and I think the men that she went for, always, there was a reason. There was something she was going to get out of it. You know, I heard somewhere that part of the reason she liked Michael Edwards, because he was a very, very successful model, a bit of acting as well, and that she wanted to get into the modeling world. Yeah, so there was always a reason. We've got, is it Robert Kardashian? I think there was a quick fling with Richard Gere, but you know, there's many other men, isn't there? and a lot of the men she dated were very, very wealthy. So even with Michael Garibaldi Garcia, I think he was a script writer. Didn't he write scripts for Dallas? You know, there was always something. There was always something. I actually think there's a lot of affairs that have gone on, or relationships that Priscilla had that we don't even know about, that were kept secret. Seriously, I think Priscilla had a lot of secret lovers. Just my opinion, guys, for entertainment purposes. So then it goes on to say, a real passion for supply of sex. Yeah, she was gagging. She was gagging. She loved sex. The more the better. I really believe that. I got my answers to my opinions from a written transcript from an interview with Priscilla Presley published by Andy Warhol on events spoken on October the 22nd, 1979. Andy Warhol said, "Why did you leave Elvis?" Priscilla replied, "It was just too much. It's better not to say." And then Warhol says, "When did you have your first sex?" And then Priscilla says, "On my call, he was also present." We'd better be careful, Warhol. I don't like sex. Priscilla, I think sex is everything. Unless you're not with the right people, it can be very bad. I hope you all noticed that she said people, not person. So to me, this shows that Priscilla was not a virgin. Priscilla was not a virgin. She says when she married Elvis, also the only book written that is truthful is Child Bride, mainly because the author recording of the conversations. So he's saying that Child Bride recorded the conversations, which I have heard that somewhere, and I've heard there were witnesses and they took lie detection. Now, I will say this. I have heard there's some pretty nasty stuff in Child Bride. We're only we're reading it, but we're only up to chapter 9, I think. So let's just see how that unfolds. But Child Bride isn't all good, guys. It says some pretty negative things. And even Suzanne Finstad has said things that she should not have said. Suzanne Finstad, the author of the book Child Bride, has, on interviews, has said some pretty nasty stuff about Elvis. So, which I don't like, because we, the Elvis fans, kept Suzanne Finstad in money buying her book. So I really am gutted that Suzanne Finstad, the author of Child Bride, said some horrible things about Elvis. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. And she should be ashamed of herself for doing that. She shouldn't. She brings out a book that is trying to explain to the public that there's an alternate truth to Priscilla's teenage years and her intentions with Elvis. There was this game plan to hook Elvis, but then she calls him loads of names. It's a shame. It's a shame, guys. Priscilla Presley has acknowledged that it was a very tough for her lately. She has lost her parents, her daughter, her nephew. And she did say to Lisa Marie 2 months before her passing, "We both had a very bad men in our lives except for Elvis." So Elvis has received a partial apology. We still have work to do defending Elvis. Let me read that bit again. Priscilla Presley has acknowledged that it has been very tough for her lately. She has lost her parents, her daughter, her nephew. Now, I know she said all this in the Piers Morgan interview, didn't she? And she did say to Lisa Marie 2 months before her passing, "We both had very bad men in our lives except Elvis." So Elvis has received a partial apology. We still have work to do defending Elvis. That's an odd one, that is, guys. I don't really see how her saying that is a partial apology. I don't agree with that's a partial apology. Let's keep going. Especially on these fiction books about Elvis having other children, that Lisa Marie, obviously we've just read one, haven't we? Fiction book about Elvis having other children. Firstly, there is a well-done video that analyzes all 10 of his girlfriends. All 10 have no proof that Elvis had real sex with them, only great loving companionships. And I keep hearing this again and again, that Elvis, a lot of the girlfriends he had, he didn't sleep with them. Right, I am going to read your comments in a minute, guys. I'm just finishing this message, this comment. So this comment is from Andrew, okay? Thank you, Andrew, for sending this. All 10 girlfriends have no proof that Elvis had real sex with them, only great loving companionships. Now, where did that Elvis would not have sex with a married woman who had a child come from? That Priscilla fabricated. I completely agree with that. I've always said that this bullshit, that Elvis will not sleep with a married woman, is an absolute joke, and it probably was started by Priscilla. Yeah, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, I think it's bollocks. I think Elvis didn't have any problem with sleeping with a married woman. I'm on about a divorced or an ex and a woman that had a child. I don't think Elvis, he definitely would not sleep with a woman that's married. Definitely not. No way. No way. But a woman that has had a child, yeah, Elvis had no problem with that. So I think it was a complete lie. I really believe that after she was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, just after Lisa Marie was born, I think this whole thing where Elvis wouldn't sleep with Priscilla, it's been fabricated. I agree. I think that he just didn't want to sleep with her because she'd been unfaithful with Steve Peck. What man wants to sleep with a woman that 10 months after marriage, 2 months after the baby is born, Lisa Marie, Elvis catches her being unfaithful with the dance instructor? Why would he want to sleep with her? Why would Elvis want to sleep with her? I actually don't think Elvis wanted to sleep with Priscilla after 1968 because she'd been unfaithful. He'd caught her just after the baby was born, Lisa Marie. Let's have a look. So it then says, now where did that Elvis would not have sex with a married woman who had a child come from? Priscilla fabricated it. Nobody researches that. It comes from Elvis's mother. Elvis was instructed by his mother that although you like girls, you do not have sex until you are married. And I do think that the girl that, hello? I have a headache. Oh, baby, come on. She walks in when I'm doing my X-rated stuff. So I do think Elvis had a beautiful Christian. Yeah, man. Elvis had a beautiful Christian upbringing. And I do think Gladys taught him that you don't get serious until the night of the wedding. I do think that. I do think that the girl that Elvis wanted to marry, he hoped it would be quite an innocent person that had not been around, that he could trust. Yeah, he just picked the wrong girl. He just, let me have a look. Where is it? Go and have a look. All right, guys. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. And there's just a couple of bits here I want to just say before I go. Like girls do not have S until you are married, and you will have no career, especially don't dare be with a woman who is married or has a child. So yes, Elvis 100% was not going to get with a married woman who had had a child. Yeah, I get that, but we're talking marriage here, aren't we? Yeah. So yes, Gladys did try and install. Elvis did the right thing. Yeah. And then we've got turned this. So it says Priscilla turned this around. So this advice that Gladys had given, how Elvis should be with the woman he decides to marry and how to treat women, Priscilla turned this around to her benefit, to be able to have her frivolous relationships. Elvis, being a man of God, followed his mother's advice and only had real S with Priscilla upon marriage. And as Lisa Marie loved her daddy like a god, Elvis loved his mother like our Blessed Lady. Now, I have to disagree with that last comment, because in the book From Here to the Great Unknown, Lisa Marie did say that they had the S when Priscilla was 18. Lisa Marie did say that. So, okay, guys, that was really interesting. I'm going to come back again later. I'm going to go for a run, walk the dogs, blah, blah, blah. We're off to get some Christmas trees, which I'm really looking forward to. 1st of December, guys. Christmas has begun. 1st of December. Everything changes. The elves come out. We can put our decorations up. Our Christmas tree goes up. All the lights go up. We're going to decorate the front of the house. It's going to be amazing. So thanks, guys. You take care. And happy 1st of December, all of you guys. Team Elvis, taking care of business. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thanks, guys.